And then this weather down here, one day it's hot, the next day it's not. This shit is crazy. All right. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Gathering of Old Men podcast. Troy, myself, TP, Marlo is on the way. It's been a crazy 2 weeks. First off, TP, congratulations for making it to the playoffs. They had to let y'all in. They absolutely had to let y'all in because they couldn't sneak Alabama in and not put y'all in. So they had to put y'all in.
So here's the thing. Not only that, they could not have a college football playoff that did not include an SEC team. Was not on the table.
Oh yeah.
Because Florida State 100% got snubbed, and it was by Alabama, not Texas. Texas deserved to be in the top four. When Georgia lost, that's when calamity started.
Yeah.
Because we knew Michigan was going to take care of business. We knew Washington was going to take care of business. The only other outlier was the Seminoles, who had lost their quarterback, but then they get into this game and they struggle, and it's ugly. And Louisville 100% gave them the game. So for the committee, they're looking at it like, man, Florida State looked bad against Louisville. We don't want that in the playoff. That's bad money. Alabama, who just beat the number one team in the country, is probably a better team. So we're going to try to go for a better playoff situation and not give the undefeated team the benefit of the doubt when they just struggled against a Louisville team that probably wouldn't beat any of those teams in the top four. In the top 20, they aren't a bad team, but Louisville tried to give y'all the game, and it still didn't work. They gave y'all the game, and now who we gonna put in? Texas automatically in because Georgia lost.
Okay.
Georgia and Oregon both lost.
So here's my dilemma, right? So here's my dilemma. My dilemma is that if we're talking about how teams look, then we're taking into account history.
Right.
If we look at the history of the playoffs, Michigan ain't never looked good. Never looked good.
But we can't but we can't look at that based off of how they've played this year. They have been absolutely dominant.
They have been absolutely dominant in the Big Ten. Now I ask you this question.
But do they have an option? The Big Ten
Neither did Florida State. Neither do. Here's the thing. And I'm not saying there's a whole host of reasons why Florida State set the bed for themselves. And as I know, I'm telling you, we set this up for ourselves because at the beginning of spring, it could have been a 12-team playoff. Right. But the ACC
voted no.
With the group of five went, you know what? We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that.
You know why they did that? You know why?
Revenue. They didn't want six.
No. I'm going to tell you why. They were afraid that if you let 12 teams make it, only one ACC team would still make it. But then they have more opportunities to lose. There's more things you got to worry about. But now
But
y'all on the outside looking in, but they were looking at it like, hey, whoever wins the ACC will get their one shot in the playoff. That'll be our team to roll with into the playoff. We'll have
my
at least
numbers
one
may
undefeated team.
my numbers may be off. My numbers may be off. But if I'm not mistaken, just making it to the NCAA playoffs, FBS division, you get $30 million per team. For the conference gets $30 million for each team. So now
Right.
you don't have $30 million.
But that revenue would have been split. It would have been broken down from 30 million a team to you divide that by another 3. So now it's 10 million a team. And they
No,
still
no.
would have been
So
only looking at one team in the playoff.
if we would have only got one team in the 12-team playoffs, it still would have been each team would have still got $30 million, or each conference would have got $30 million per team. But the problem is Florida State was so worried about Alabama and the SEC getting 4 teams in that they would have $100 million worth of revenue. Well, now you have none.
Now you have.
So I'm like, okay, all right, whatever. Then I mean, I'm not finna be different just because we got snubbed. Let's just be honest. You had all season to prepare your backup quarterback. And all season, we get to the Florida game and realize that the backup quarterback is just okay. Then we realize your third string quarterback probably shouldn't be at Florida State. So now I'm looking at the coach yet again and going, well, what are we doing? But TP, because you know Florida State Seminole fans are delusional. And as a delusional fan, or some of us are delusional, and as one of those delusional fans, I am on Twitter quite a lot. And it's a lot of things that I expect to see about Florida State from Florida State fans. What I should never see is anybody say anything bad about Odell Haggins. Because if it was not for Odell Haggins, this entire program would be in the shitter. He saved the recruiting class after Jimbo left. He saved the recruiting class after the 6-6 debacle. And then to have people say, well, he hasn't gotten any edge rushers, any good defensive linemen in. TP, we had 2 All-Americans on the defensive line. 1 first team, 1 third team. I don't know what more you can ask for. So my fella knows that seem to want to run Odell out of town. And we really know why you want to run Odell out of town. You want to run Odell out of town because you're mad. Because you are now under the realization that what if a certain coach in Boulder right now was in Tallahassee? Would they make the NCAA playoffs?
Probably not.
If that team is undefeated with Prime, they go to the playoffs.
They go to the playoffs based on the simple fact that it's Dion coaching. And
that's what I'm saying. And that's what that oh God.
So we talk about this a lot, that controversy sells, right? And this is a situation where you would have had a big name coach that you would not have been able to leave out. You have somebody that would have been vocal. Do y'all not understand that Dion would have been in front of every camera, every person, every news article, every person he can be in front of, pleading his case as to how y'all snubbed Florida State? What Mark Norvell do? I leave it up to their decision. It's their decision to make. We're just gonna take whatever decision they hand out, and we'll go take care of business and win our bowl game. That was his response. Dion would have cried wolf, piss and grits, whatever he could do, but y'all would have heard about Florida State not making a playoff. There hasn't been a lot of talk about them not making it. It's just been, okay, that's what happened. it would have been a completely different story if there was a different coach. And now we're starting to see kids saying, Florida State ain't where I want to play. I don't like how Mark Norvell talked to my parents.
Did you see that? And I'm
Hello.
glad you saw it.
Hello. Hello.
I've been
Another
saying on
reason.
this podcast
Another
for
reason.
years.
Another reason why the boosters are about to call for his job. How you managed to go 12-0 and still miss the playoffs, and y'all were in the top 5 the entire season. This ain't like when Utah went undefeated back in the day with Alex Smith and they got snubbed because they started out outside of the top 25. There was such an uphill climb for them that getting into the national championship game was just too much with all this other firepower across the country. But no, Florida State was in the top 5 from day one. Y'all beat LSU. Game 1. There was no reason why Florida State should not be in the top 4, and the coach is the only one to blame. Why are we playing our Heisman Trophy winning quarterback against, what was it? What
North
school?
Alabama. University of North Alabama.
University of North Alabama. We are running our Heisman hopeful quarterback for what? For what? What you got to prove against North Alabama? You go out there with a basic game plan, and another reason we do a basic game plan is we don't want to give nothing away. We don't have to scheme. We just out athletic these guys. We are better than them across the board. We don't have to do nothing special. I've been in these situations back when I played football. If we know it's a cupcake school, we aren't about to do anything but run 234 dive 47 times because they're not going to stop it. They're not stronger than us. They can't tackle. They're not fast enough. We can do whatever we want to do. Why would we go out there and give our opponents a look at anything other than the basic shit that they already have seen?
So I like to see the glass as half empty or half full as opposed to half empty. And out of this, people are now coming to the realization that Troy was right about this coach the whole time. Month after month, week after week, year after year. I bet y'all wish I would have hit the Powerball so I could hire the 100 to march down and make sure this dude leave. Because I should never see a player enter the portal because of how a coach talked to his parents.
That's
I should never. I should never hear about such things. Do you know we have 2 quarterbacks visiting Florida State, and one of them is asking for reports. I don't know. These are reports. It's reported that one of them is wanting $1 million. And I'm okay with it. It's Florida State. You know, it's a blue blood school. $1 million. I'm okay with it.
You about to this seems like a segue into another topic. Something to do with coach getting paid and the players not. I think this is where we're headed.
So here's my issue, right? Give the man $1 million to come to this team. Because he's the number one, point blank, number one transfer portal quarterback out there, right? Give him $1 million because we have coaches getting fired and getting $70 million. We got coaches who was at a group of 5 school and somehow lucked up on the Florida State and failed miserably 2 years in a row. This year, because last year is not a success. I don't care if you won 10 games or not. If you lose to Wake Forest, that is not a successful season. However, I give him credit. He showed improvement. Because my thing was his resume said he'd get worse in 3 years. Oh, lo and behold, his winning record got better. But did the offense really improve? Did it become dynamic? Was it an offense that you feared? Because I'm old enough to remember when Jimbo Fisher offense only relied on athletes. I'm going to put the big wide receivers out there and throw it up to them, and that's how we're going to win the game and run the ball. Mm-hmm. You got to be able to move the ball efficiently in the passing game. And our passing game was feast or famine. Either we getting bombs, or we getting sacks, or we throwing the ball away. There was no imagination there. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to make this whole thing about Florida State because I really do want to congratulate the Longhorns because they battled their way over 3 seasons into the playoffs and they earned it on their last year. On their last year, they earned their way in.
I'm a reasonable man, right? But I called this way back in August. Now, mind you, we ain't won the Big 12 since 2009. But there was something about this team, and I said it. I was like, this team is special. Minus Bijan. Bijan, incredible athlete, probably the best running back we've had since Ricky Williams. But it was just something about this team and having Quinn Ewers come back. That defense has been built like a SEC team. We have built our team to compete with SEC teams, i.e., winning the Tuscaloosa and gave Alabama the worst beatdown at home that they've ever had under Nick Saban. They've never lost by double digits at home under Nick Saban until the Longhorns rolled in because Steve Sarkisian recruited and built his team a specific way. Now, as a recruiter, I think he's a hell of a recruiter as far as getting talent in. I just think he's a horrible game manager at times. There's a few games where I can point out where, hey, we probably could have managed the clock better here, or maybe not go for it on 4th down if we don't really have to.
Here's why I'm finna defend Sarkisian. I'm gonna defend Sarkisian.
I just gave them some flowers. They might have been tulips. They ain't no roses. I'm gonna give them some tulips now. You know what I mean? I'm gonna give them some. I'm gonna give this man flowers.
I'm gonna give this man his roses, and here's why. Your coach, starting quarterback, went down, and y'all kept rolling.
We ain't play nobody.
We ain't play nobody either, and we were still struggling.
In those 3 games, this is true. This is true. But our offense wasn't built around just the quarterback. That's another thing. Y'all whole offense was built around y'all quarterback making plays. This was it was built around the quarterback and run the ball. And when they started stacking the box because y'all ain't got a quarterback, the offense struggled. Our receivers are too good. You could not stack the box against the Longhorns. People are going to be down the field in a heartbeat, and it's going to be ugly.
Here is why, and you just brought up why I was pissed off. I got, in the beginning of this season, everybody heard me say, who is this dude from Michigan State? He went to Michigan State. He ain't nobody. In a week and a half, I had to apologize because I realized he was him. If I got that on the outside, and I'll give the quarterback an excuse. Okay, Johnny Wilson, he went through some drops in the middle of the season. I don't know what the hell that was about, but he went through some drops. Keon Cole was still him.
Keon Cole is going to be a top 20 draft pick come April.
Oh my God! Like, come on, man. There was no reason why we should have been just throwing jump balls to him. There should have been some other ways to scheme that man open to get him some touches. But again, I kept bringing up Florida State has been to the national championship with a backup quarterback because we had a game plan for that backup quarterback. We played to his strengths, and we still put up points against Florida. Big points. Peter Warrick even threw a touchdown. So I don't all this snub and all we upset. I was upset at first, but then again, I had to realize I got to go fall back on everything I've been saying all season long. Hey, this should have happened. This should have happened. This should have happened. All these things in conjunction went against the ACC. Now, that being said, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Texas might put up 150 points against Washington. Washington ain't played defense all season. All season. And we have come to find out that Penix Jr., if you put any kind of pressure on him, is not him. The reason he didn't win a Heisman.
His stock is it's decreasing because people are starting to realize that he was just in a spread offense, that he didn't have to make reads. There's no route progressions for real. This is the same thing that they did with Marcus Mariota. He looked good because his numbers are good, but when you really look at it really look at it for what it is, he's not asked to do a lot. Put him in a pro style offense, see how he reacts under pressure, because that's what's going to happen in the NFL. Whether or not you're in a offense like Miami, right? So Tua is in still, that's a college style offense that the Dolphins run. There's a lot of reverses, it's a lot of misdirection. And, shout out to Coach McDaniels, because that offense has been working. It didn't seal the game this past. I don't know how you blow a 27-13 lead with 4 minutes left, but we'll get to that later. But what Penix is asked to do is fairly simple, i.e., he does excel at it, but how does that translate to the next level when everybody is moving faster, when you have more pressure on you? See, when CJ Stroud was at Ohio State, they ran a pro-style offense. It was a vertical offense to where he had to make reads, and he dissected every defense he went against, even Georgia. And that's why I was so high on him, because I'm looking at the intangibles. You know what I mean? I don't just look at numbers. I actually watch him play. And I'm like, man, this dude is making reads that a college quarterback shouldn't even know to make. He understands the game at a microscopic level. A lot of these college quarterbacks that seem to get elevated before we even know much about them, we don't even realize that they don't know how to make reads until it's too late. Till you take them in the top 5 and you're looking like, man, I hope he athletic. I hope he can move around. The Steelers fucked up with Kenny Pickett. The Patriots fucked up with Mac Jones. The Falcons fucked up with Desmond Ridder. Like, these are quarterbacks that had great college careers, but it has not translated. Michael Penix is starting to look very similar to Desmond Ridder. I'm sorry to say it, because I was high on him, mid season, but in this latter half, although they had a good game against Oregon also ain't played defense all year. Colorado should have beat them. You know what I mean?
So much to get to. It's gonna be an interesting playoffs. I'm just gonna say that. And to have Florida State play Georgia, it's either put up or shut up. Either you are a coach or you not a coach. We're gonna find out real quick here. Real quick. The first quarter gonna let me know everything. Because you got an SEC defense with damn near all Americans at every level. There shouldn't be any excuse. Quick programming note, fans. There is a volleyball match that is happening in the Tampa Bay area. Also, my Vegas Raiders are playing right now the Chargers of Los Angeles. We up 6-0. But yeah, I don't really know what to say about that, so I'm gonna keep it moving. But shout out to all the teams that made the volleyball Final Four. Right now, Pittsburgh and Nebraska is playing. I believe Nebraska is up in that match. But TP, I don't know if there's a lot going on in Black college football right now. And we just gonna skip the Black National Championship game right now. It's all happening in the SWAC West. I don't know what the hell is going on in the SWAC West. Ain't nobody got no coach. People trying to steal other people's coaches. It's utter chaos. Grambling was supposed to name a coach 5 days ago. They still waiting on the coach. And I've heard rumors that, do you believe Ed Reed was actual serious contender for that job? But again, I heard rumors. I'll let that person break that news. But yeah, Ed did a whole rollout. And I didn't figure he was doing a rollout for the Grambling job until I started seeing little things. I'm like, oh my God. They were seriously considering Ed Reed after what he did to Bethune. Crazy. But we gonna see if Alcorn keeps, and Fred McNair is Alcorn State's head coach currently. Texas Southern got authorization to offer $331,000 to their next head coach. GESPN, Swatting the Fool host, has reported that he was asking for $300,000 to stay at Alcorn, and nobody believes that Alcorn is willing to pay that kind of money based on the last 2 years of mediocre returns. So again, it was a cliffhanger when I went to sleep last night, and nobody still don't have no announcements yet. So who knows when this gonna happen? Alcorn ain't got no head coach. Who else don't have a head coach? There's a couple teams don't have a head coach. Alcorn, Grambling, and Texas Southern. None of them have head coaches. So it's gonna be real interesting in the SWAC. I hope somebody get a coach. It's about to be, signing day is coming up soon, so somebody got to do something.
What we have is, it's December 14th. Y'all got until February 1st to have a coach, or it's gonna really get ugly. Because I don't understand how you can even expect to recruit without a coach. Now, they might be trying to position themselves to start trying to get some of these NFL players to come back and coach, at HBCs, kind of like talking to Ed Reed and, whatever other ex-NFL player, because they're starting to realize, hey, we might need those connections on the next level if we want to get the players in. It's like I had been saying, team players go to schools like Ohio State and Alabama because of their connection to the NFL. If I'm playing football and I have the talent to play at the pro level, then I'm going to go to a school that is going to prepare me to play at the pro level. That's going to put me, ahead of the game as far as understanding how the NFL works. And that will most likely get me drafted. Just getting drafted means you're gonna get paid something. You make a team, you're making 6 figures. So you want to at least get the opportunity. And what we see is a lot of these HBCU students, even though they don't get drafted, they still don't always have the opportunity. We're just trying to look at that initial opportunity. There's a lot of players that went to Bama or Texas or Oklahoma, get on the NFL roster and shit the bed. Just because you went to these schools don't mean that you're good enough to play at the next level, but it damn sure gave you a step in that right direction. It definitely puts you in the room. So they gonna, the whole SWAC is starting to look at how the transfer portal works. Players are able to move around more freely. There isn't the big stipulation where if you transfer, you have to sit out a year. Because remember, that was the old rule. If you transferred, you didn't play that season. And with that now not being an issue, players are, I'm not going to say totally free to move around, but if you hit the transfer portal, where, you want to go to a school where you feel like you have the best opportunity to play. And if you're trying to get to the next level, some team, some school that's going to put you in that position.
You know what's crazy? You know you know what school the best linebacker in the NFL came from? It came from FAM as an undrafted free agent.
Who, Fred Warner?
No, 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 no. I started to say Isaiah Lamb, but that's not Isaiah Lamb. And I can't believe I've been talking about him for the last month. I can't believe I'm not saying his name right.
Oh, you had me confused. I thought what'd you call it?
Why is this roster old? Why
Fred
is
Warner
Leighton Vander
was the best in the league.
Anyway, the linebacker comes from FAMU, and I can't believe I can't remember his name. I apologize. I am having a brain fart. But the best linebacker in the month of November and December was the FAMU product. Matter of fact, that's I keep calling I want to keep calling the Chargers San Diego. That Chargers game, Austin Eckler wanted no more of him. No more. Every time he seen him, it was a fumble. So again, an example of an HBCU product, did not get drafted, is doing well. I could take the moment to point out that, he went to FAMU, and if you were a player that's in the portal with the correct physicals, maybe you should send your tape over to FAMU. That's just me. TP, we're gonna get back to football in a minute, but we gotta talk about Day Day. Why is Day Day acting up?
You talking about Draymond?
Yes. Why? What? What's going on with Day Day? First you choking people out. That's understandable. You had some built up frustration. You wanted to get him. You had a reason to get him, so you got him. All right.
I honestly think Draymond Green is bored. I think he's bored with playing basketball. It is not that fun anymore. He's already won his championships. He's won some defensive player of the years. It's not the same because there is no other explanation as to why you're just randomly putting your hands on people. There's none. You play the sport, you win, you lose, you move on. Why are you the only person targeted? Because he said he targeted by the refs and other players. Why are you the only person targeted? Is this something to do with the fact that you won't shut the fuck up? That might get something to do with it. And then when you do talk shit, it's always on the backs of you riding Clay and Steph because they won y'all a championship and you was a part of it. Oh, they couldn't have done it without me. No, they probably would have. They probably still would have won without Draymond Green. But it was the whole thing with him and Dylan Brooks last year. It was like, okay, Dylan Brooks, you ain't done nothing, and you don't have a right to say nothing. But Draymond, why are we putting our hands on people? It's not that serious.
Draymond is doing that because just like in any situation in a neighborhood basketball game, he know if he put his hands on somebody, ain't nobody going to the car. He ain't doing that in Miami. He ain't doing that on the streets of Oakland. He ain't doing that in Detroit. He doing that in the NBA.
You know what my 2 and 4-year-old do when they want attention? They hit each other.
That sounds about right. That sounds about right. But wait,
Crying,
TP.
crying for attention as a grown ass man is a damn shame. And it's not good for basketball. I don't care what nobody say. This ain't good for
It's not.
basketball. Like, I get it. Y'all like to see some energy. Okay, well, he's suspended indefinitely, so enjoy your energy while he's not even at the game. Because where did it get you?
Well, they did that, but apparently Giannis said, "Hold my beer," because after he scored 64 points against the Pacers took the game ball because one of their rookies scored his first point in a game. Now, traditionally, you score your first point, they give you the ball, whatever. Giannis, again, not familiar with the culture, was like, "Hey, I just scored 64 points. Give me the ball." He done went in the people's locker room ready to throw hands over this ball. This is your NBA superstar ready to throw hands. You got to suspend him 4 games. You got to. Just
This see me and you, we come from the old school, right? We come from the I score a touchdown, I flip the ball to the ref, I get back to my sideline, I take care of business next drive. Basketball, I score a point, I high five my teammates, I get back on defense. The game over with, we don't shake hands, we're not friends. Fuck y'all, I'm going to my locker room. That's how I came up. This new school it's all about the glitz and the glamour. You gotta see me. We gotta that end zone celebration the Dolphins did after they scored 27. I was like, they about to lose. They was walking the dog. Oh my God. There is so much outside of just playing the sport these days. Giannis, you scored 64. Can you congratulate this young man on starting his NBA journey? You've already won 2 defensive player of the years. You got a ring. And you worried about a game ball so much that you will rob this man of his first big accomplishment in the NBA. It was that important to you. Maybe because later down the line, this might be that's probably gonna be the most points he ever scored in a game in his career. That's probably what hit him like, oh man, I might not ever do that again. Let me get this ball. It's gonna be worth something.
his teammates got him the ball. His teammates made sure he got the ball because that's what you do. Dude score the first points, you get him the ball. I
How
don't care
about
if nobody scored 99.
can we just get another ball and say that this a game ball too? It ain't that hard. Y'all actually use more than one ball during the game anyway.
Exactly.
Y'all don't use the same ball for all 4 quarters. Just like in football, they have multiple game balls when the coaches are sitting there handing out game balls. You get like 5 game balls in a football locker room. Why is the NBA any different? Why we can't get multiple game balls? Why it got to be that ball? Y'all couldn't get another ball that y'all had played with that day, and then that's the 64. Like, I don't know. You can't say that both of them because he should only sign one. You sign one. This is the ball that was played. This was used tonight. One of the balls. I signed this one. This is the ball that Giannis scored 64 points with. You move on. You put it in the case, put it on your shelf, wait till it's worth something. Or keep it forever,
No.
however you choose to go about it. But at the end of the day, it's not that serious.
Since you wanna talk about it, you've been wanting to talk about this Dolphins game bad.
Oh man. Mayo Man. Mayo Man and D Hop. A new all-star connection. First of all, you can't guard D Hop, and I've said that for years. He ain't ever open, but he's open. Like I love D-Hop, but he gets no separation. I've always loved D-Hop since he was back in Houston. He don't get no separation, but he's always open. Just throw it.
Yeah, he got that catch radius. He got
There
that
was
catch radius. That's all
there,
he need.
there was one catch in that game where it was between two people falling down. If you look on the I forgot what's it called, the real I don't know I forgot what they call it, the ATS percentage of a catch. It was like 0.8% catch chance, but it don't matter because it's D-Hop. Going back to hit the Hail Mary he caught when he was in Arizona, there was like a 1.3% chance of a completion right there, and he makes the catch. He's been doing that for years. The real story is, how does Miami not close that game out?
I'll tell you. I will tell you.
They
Miami fans, pull up a chair. Pull up a chair. Let me go ahead and tell y'all this right now, because you ain't like figured this out yet. Your team ain't tough. They not built tough. They not mentally tough. So the 4-minute offense is literally the most basic, fundamental part of football. You learn the 4-minute offense before you learn anything else, because that's winning time. You salt the game away so the other team can't hurt you.
You know what else? They coach it soft too. I said
he's an Ivy League dude.
He's
too smart.
I would say it to his face. First of all, why is your ankles out on my sideline? Why is your ankles always? Why I gotta look at your
Wait a minute, hold on. I told Molo my ankles is gonna be out on Saturday. He was mad.
Why am I looking at ankles, sir? It's distracting. Can we get back to the game, please?
He's trying to be fashionable, but he's so freaking smart. He has all these intricate running plays. Dude, get your big back, 2 tight ends, and we going from the A gap to the B gap. That's it. Tyreek can go ahead and take his helmet off. We ain't throwing that else. Game 1, the defense did their job. Game 1.
Let me tell you something.
No.
That excessive celebration after they went up 2 touchdowns. Y'all pissed off you gotta understand that football is played between men. And what do men stand on probably more than any other principle is our fucking pride. There ain't nothing worse you can do to a man than to take his pride. The disrespect they showed them is why they lost that game. The level of disrespect, like it was egregious. The end zone celebrate, like I get it, you celebrating that y'all scored, but the game is still going. They celebrated like the game was over. Those Titan players were looking at them and they said, "You got me fucked up. This ain't over." They put their bootstraps on and they went down the field twice in under 4 minutes. They came back and played defense because y'all want to still run reverses and screens and shit instead of trying to run the clock out. Throwing incompletions when all you really need to do is just get the time off the clock. Sometimes, and I tell my wife this all the time when we watching football, I hate these analytic guys. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Can we get back to just playing football? My 11 versus your 11. Sometimes you don't need a scheme when you're just better. Miami Dolphins on paper are a better team than the Titans. They have played better all year. The problem is they let their pride and they got the big head and they forgot that there are 53 grown men on the other side that are looking at y'all celebrating on the fucking field like it's the 4th of July and that the game is over. No, we're not going to let that slide. I've been in situations like that where the other team was celebrating, having a good time. It pisses me off. because y'all are treating me like I ain't shit, like I ain't standing right fucking here, and that this game is over. The game is over when I see all zeros. And if it ain't all zeros on there, I'm about to hit you in the mouth. I can't wait to get back on the field because somebody about to know who the fuck I am. I'm not going out like that, and it ain't gonna be no we put hands and feet on them and laughed at them while we did it. No, you gonna work for every inch and every yard you get out here.
It was a Miami game. So people took their families there because it was like a mini vacation. You take your family got game, they get to go out, hang out, then they get to come to the game. You think them NFL players want to hear their wives, girlfriends, and kids say, "Ooh, Tyreek did you dirty. He did all this celebrating." No, no. Y'all lucky a fight didn't break out.
I mean, they was walking the dog on them. I was like, really? I mean, it looked like they
Oh,
was happy.
can somebody tell me why the analytics guy never gets fired? The coach get fired, the quarterback get fired, the GM get fired. Analytics guy, he don't never get fired. But
What
y'all steady
happens?
listen to him.
What happens when your coach is the analytic guy?
He gotta go. Again, you know what? I used to tell people this all the time. If you're the smartest man in the room, you got a small ass room. And this coach think he the smartest man in the room. And that is the problem. But again, y'all keep thinking Miami's not going to the Super Bowl. They're gonna get bounced in the first round of the playoffs. Because any team that play any kind of defense or is any kind of way physical at all, they lose. They have not beaten a team that you can be like, oh, they from top to bottom evenly matched. Nope. Any team they evenly matched with, they underperform or they get beat down. It's easy to beat up on Denver. It is not hard to beat up on Mr. Neighborly.
That was a different Broncos team too. They wouldn't do that to them now.
No, they wouldn't do it to them now, but the Broncos, it's still. I was gonna say they're the third best team in the AFC. I mean AFC West. I'm gonna get back with y'all. TP, we got 21 points on the Chargers. Didn't I tell y'all the Chargers was gonna charge? Didn't I tell you the Chargers was gonna charge? So yeah, the Broncos, yeah, they're still the third best team in the AFC West. Yep, I said it. I sure did. How you? First off, I would like to take this moment to say that Antonio Pierce needs to be the head coach. The last time we had a coach to get on the run, we started playing with the soup and end up with Josh McDaniels. I don't want to play with the soup no more. Let's go ahead and get Antonio Pierce a try. Give him a 1-year deal. Let's see what he do.
I
All
mean,
right, I'm off my.
let's just look at some of the Dolphins games this year. Lost to the Jags. Oh no, that's preseason. Never mind. They beat the Chargers by 2, who are terrible. They beat the Patriots by 7, who are terrible. They put 70 on the Broncos in week 3. Okay, that was the Broncos team that was still trying to figure out their identity. They came back the next week and gave up 48 to the Bills and got blew the fuck out. They barely beat the Giants. They let the Panthers score 21. Got beat up on by the Eagles. They beat the Patriots by 2 touchdowns. Okay, division game. The Chiefs beat them. Barely beat the Raiders. They beat the Jets pretty bad, and then they beat the Commanders pretty bad. Then they come back and blow a 27-13 lead against the Titans on Monday night in prime time. Probably it was the prime time part that got them. They was feeling themselves a little bit too much. But I tell you what, the rest of their schedule, they might lose 3 of these last 4. They got the Cowboys, the Ravens, the Bills, and the Jets left on their schedule. There's a strong possibility that even with their record right now of 9-4, they can end the season 10-7. and on the outside looking in. It ain't over with. There's a chance the
Mm.
Bills can come back and steal the division and knock them out. Because if the Bills went out, that would put them at 11-6. And if the Dolphins don't beat them the next time they play them in Week 17, that is going to be a deciding game. That game is going to be for the division. And the last time the Bills played the Dolphins, they damn near put 50 on it. Just saying. The AFC right now, I don't think has ever been this competitive. If you look at how there's 16 teams in each conference, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the 16 teams are under 500. The rest are at 500 or better. Out of 16 teams, only 5 are under 500 this late in the season. If that don't tell you that conference is competitive, I don't know what does.
Mm-hmm. Well,
and the crazy,
I guess I would be wrong to say this. It couldn't happen to a better team.
Look. I'm a. Before we move on, the NFC only has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams above 500.
How many of them in the NFC South?
All of them. There's no team above 500 in the NFC South.
It's because the season ain't over with.
Oh, there you go. Oh, there you go.
Don't y'all just be reckless abandonment talking about my damn division. The hell is wrong with y'all?
Woo, where did he come from?
Don't y'all be talking about my first place Bucks.
Hey, they said if you speak of them, you shall attend.
I don't want to hear that shit.
Oh God.
We just getting warmed up.
My.
I was looking at the standings and didn't even see your name pop up. That's the funniest part to me. I didn't even when I say sneak attack.
Oh God.
My man's Marlo came out of left field on fire. Y'all ain't gonna talk about my Bucks like that.
We are not doing that today.
My first place 6 and 7 Bucks. We're not gonna do that.
You damn right. We're gonna end the season 10 and 7. That's all right.
But
going into the playoffs.
But my shot wasn't at
hold
the
on.
Bucks.
You gonna end
it was my shots wasn't at the Bucks. It was at the fact that the NFC only has 5 teams above 500, but 7 teams got to make the playoffs. That's my thing.
That's right now.
Have to get the playoffs. Like, is that a rule that 7 teams have to make the playoffs?
Yes, there's.
Yeah,
it's a 14 team.
Pretty much. Definitely a rule.
So we got 5 teams under 500 in the AFC and 5 teams over 500 in the NFC.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna flip.
And the bad thing is, the best team in the NFL is in the NFC.
Yeah.
And that's your San Francisco 49ers.
They looking like that right now.
They beat the shit out of the Eagles and then came back and put hands and feet on them boys.
Yeah.
Is it still them boys or no? That'd be my question every year for every Cowboy fan. Every time they get knocked out of the playoffs, is it still are we still them boys or no?
I want to know one question because I seen a lot of Cowboys fans celebrating beating Philadelphia. Is it January? Wake me up when January get here. Because
the Eagles hit they mid-season slump. They're in a situation where now there's only 4 weeks left in the season. This is where they make their run if they want to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
This
What?
is put up or shut up time because y'all just got y'all ass whooped 2 weeks in a row. Now, who are y'all?
So I would like to point out that they just picked up a pass rushing linebacker, which again, I don't know how this is legal. How do they keep adding all pro talent? Somebody need to
He
explain to
was
me
at the
something.
house. He was at the
Okay.
house.
He was at the house. But he was at Indianapolis first. And Indianapolis is just like, you know what? You can just go home.
Ain't nobody tell Indianapolis to let him be. If they wouldn't have let him be, he wouldn't have been at the house.
I seen this movie. I know how this movie ends. This movie ends with Philadelphia having 8 MFers able to pass rush and no team be able to withstand that. So
Yeah.
I've seen this movie. It's coming. It's
They
coming.
get pressure with their front four. So imagine with another linebacker, and it ain't even like it's an exotic blitz. They just bring another person.
It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So Molo just completely threw off my whole thought process. Oh no, I didn't. Touch on one thing real quick because the NCAA is a terrible organization and should probably get hit by a Nerf bus. Right now, there is a suit out there for players asking to be eligible to play during their second transfer immediately. Right now, there is a temporary restraining order against the NCAA. So if you transfer, you are immediately eligible right now. However, the NCAA has said transfers who compete during the temporary restraining order will lose eligibility if this gets reversed. So the NCAA is saying, go ahead and play, risk it, because if we win, you ain't playing no more. It's a wrap for you. Yeah.
They trying to play bully ball.
Oh yeah, the next hearing is scheduled for December 27th.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. All it's gonna be is people get more creative with using that transfer portal. I transfer to a FCS school and then be like, no, I'm straight. I enrolled, so I'm officially at this school. So let me transfer to another school.
well, so some other things that we missed. There is a young man, I'm not going to name his name, who played for Jackson State, who entered his name into the transfer portal, and then some kind of way committed to the University of Colorado.
Wait, what did he do?
Or Colorado University.
Are you talking about the D lineman?
Yeah. However, no coach at Colorado offered him a scholarship, nor talked to him about a scholarship. And it's funny, but it's sad. It's sad because we are going on day 3 of this foolishness, and nobody has gotten that dude no help.
So wait,
So
what happened?
he put his name in. So he played none last year. Let's just be clear. He played 0 minutes last year.
Right.
He entered the transfer portal, and then, like every other guy that says they committed to X, Y, and Z, he then committed to Colorado, but was not offered a scholarship. And if I'm not mistaken, I hope I got this right, he's also a walk-on.
So he hit the transfer portal after having a scholarship.
No, he's a. Did he have? Yes, he has a scholarship. He had a scholarship. He hit the transfer portal. He was originally a walk-on, got a scholarship, hit the transfer portal this year, after playing basically no minutes. And then we come to find out that he did not actually receive a scholarship.
So what's supposed to happen?
I don't think nothing happens. He can't go to Colorado.
He can still walk on though, right?
I mean, yeah, I guess he could walk on in Colorado. But are the coaching staff going to have him after he publicly made them look like idiots for like 24 hours?
Maybe not. Probably should have just let that one ride. Should have read the fine print. Because it sound like he didn't read the fine print.
Oh no! Oh no!
That's what it
yeah,
sounds
he
like.
he got other things going on. He definitely got other things going on.
That sucks though. This sounds like a bad situation.
It's just look at my Raiders. But won't he do it? Look at my Raiders. Won't he do it? Oh man!
Didn't y'all just get shut? Never mind.
Hey man! Hey! Don't do that, boy. You can tell when people having a good season because they get real spicy. They get real spicy, don't they, Marlo?
Y'all ain't having no damn good season.
5-8. 5-8. It's playing for something.
I wasn't talking about my Raiders. You know what? Don't make me look up what's going on with the Bucks. Don't make me. Who is the Bucks? You know what? I already know what's wrong with the Bucks. Their quarterback is Baker Mayfield.
That's a whole lot of hate right there, sir.
You hate him more than I do. You hate him more than I do.
But he's on my team.
Marlo, be better than the Baker Mayfield. Be better than the Baker Mayfield. That's all I can tell you. All right. I really wish I was at the house and had my board. But Shohei Ohtani TP signed a $700 million contract.
The biggest bullshit I've ever seen in my life.
With the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Literally.
That's literally the biggest bullshit I've ever seen in my life.
But $600+ million is gonna be deferred.
That is not fair.
So here's why it's fair.
It's
right?
not. It's not. But go ahead.
Here's why. All right. So here's why. I'm sure this is why they did it. They said some BS about, he want to have other players on the team so they can make World Series runs. Bullshit. He in California. A $700 million contract. He's only going to bring home 40% of his earnings because California has a state sales tax. So for the next 10 years, he gets $2 million a year. After that contract, the rest of that money is deferred. Now, it is my belief that he has no intentions on being in California after year 9. Because year 9, he going to get the up out of Dodge so he can collect the rest of his $600 and whatever million left. I feel like his agent talked to Bobby Bonilla and was like, hey, how you did that deal where you get $1 million a year until you're 72 years old? And I think out of that came this BS. But here's why it's not unfair. In the collective bargaining agreement, there are no restrictions on how contracts are structured. They can structure them any kind of way they want as long as the money is guaranteed. Now, if I'm like the state treasury department, somebody gonna have to tell me something. I'm gonna need, if the contract is $700 million, I'm gonna need my 40%. If I'm the state of California,
It's
If
G
I'm
still.
whatever, if I'm the California Treasury Department, go ahead and be at my office Monday morning at 9:00,
But
and make sure you bring your checkbook.
it's also a way of keeping a very high priced player on your team without interrupting your salary cap. Because now
Yep.
baseball has salary cap now. Back in the day,
That's why I say
you
it's
know,
genius.
back in the day, they didn't have to worry about that. This is like a loophole, kind of like what the Chiefs did with Patrick Mahomes. Let's sign him to these 10-year contract to where the cap hit isn't that bad at the beginning, but we give him a signing bonus, and then a couple years in, we restructure it to again make the salary cap hit not as bad. Smart,
Yep.
yes, but at the end of the day, I think I don't know. I don't know how to feel about that.
They should have got some wide receivers with the money they saved, but that's just me. Anyway, speaking of Patrick Mahomes and wide receivers, Kadarius Toney, sir, in Little League,
He
in
checked
high
with the
school.
ref. He checked with the ref.
TP,
He checked with the ref.
okay, that's fine. Answer me this. Is there a rule that says the referee has to make sure you're on side? The answer to that is no.
No.
So him checking with the ref means nothing. It is his responsibility to make sure he lined up right. That little hold your hand out and hope the ref got it right, yeah, that's a courtesy. That's a courtesy. That ain't a guarantee, right? And then, not only did he line up offside, he was loud and wrong with it. What you get an attitude for? None of you motherfuckers can catch.
I mean, it cost them the game.
It did. It cost him the game. But here's the thing. He wasn't like a quarter of an inch offside. He was a whole foot offside. If your helmet and the defensive lineman helmet are basically lined up together, you might have a problem. Might want to inch back a little bit. Just a little bit. And again, I'm not feeling sorry for any wide receiver to play for Kansas City. You work with Patrick Mahomes, and y'all dropping what, 12% of your passes, 13% of your passes? Why are we doing this?
I think the outrage comes from the fact that he checked with the ref and the ref gave him a thumbs up. The thumbs up was meant to signify that you are not off the line of scrimmage. And for those that don't know, you're allowed 7 people on the line of scrimmage. Everybody else has to be off the line of scrimmage. So that's why you'll see a formation with 5 linemen, 2 receivers, or 1 receiver, 1 tight end. However they do it, you can only have 7 people on the line of scrimmage. You know, basic rule of football is that way from Little League all the way to the pros. But your receivers are supposed to come to the line and check with the ref to see if you're on or off. If you give him a thumbs up, that means that you're on. If he gives you a thumbs up, a thumbs down, that means that you're off the line of scrimmage and that you're still good if you're supposed to be off. Because if you see a receiver go to the line and they're off the line of scrimmage and they check with the ref and he give him a thumbs down, he's not telling them that he's bad. He's telling them that he's off the line of scrimmage. The referee basically told Toney, you are on the line of scrimmage. Like, you are on that motherfucker, like, all the way. There's no doubt whether or not you're on the line of scrimmage. You know what I mean? Hey. But when you turn your head as a receiver and I can see the ball, something got to click in your head that I'm too far forward.
But I mean, I don't want to make fun of the Chiefs because they are leading the division.
But how many games have they lost because of their receivers? I've never seen a team have so many losses that is directly attributed to the receivers.
You mean like when the refs don't call pass interference because he know Marquez Valdez-Scantling ain't going to catch it anyway? Is that what you're talking about? What you upset for? You wasn't gonna catch it no way. I seen your tape.
Right.
I seen your tape. You're not catching that. Like
They've chopped it up as an uncatchable ball because the receivers are so bad. Even though it was going to hit them in the hands, it was an uncatchable ball because of who it was being thrown to.
oh god. Oh, all right. I guess we got to talk about it. I don't really want to talk about it, but we got to talk about it. The city of St. Pete is mulling over the idea of changing the Rays name to the St. Pete Rays since St. Pete, the city of St. Pete, is paying for the new stadium. And if you don't know the history, St. Pete Rays was going to be the original name. St. Pete Devil Rays was going to be the original name. However, our lovely state government said if you want money for that lovely highway that surrounds that stadium, yeah, it's going to be Tampa Bay. Well, during this process, the Rays realized that the state wasn't going to help with the funding of the stadium. So the city of St. Pete is fully funding it, and it will be the St. Pete Rays, or they're mulling over the St. Pete Rays name. I don't care either way, to be honest with you. I care that maybe we should get better ownership. Like somebody should figure out a way to buy the Rays and try like keep some players.
It kind of sounds like the issue the Cardinals have. See, the Cardinals are just named after the state. I don't know how many people know the actual city the Arizona Cardinals are in, but it ain't Phoenix. But they're not going to give them Glendale Cardinals because wouldn't nobody know where Glendale is. Most people only know Glendale, California. For them to change the name, it's going to cause a whole marketing issue because I ain't never heard of St. Pete. I don't know what St. Pete is. When people want to travel to a game, they like to know what city it is.
You have to go. So this naming thing only occurs in St. Pete, the Florida Panthers, because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they play in Davie. The Miami Marlins went from Florida Marlins to Miami Marlins. So those are the only areas. Jacksonville is in Jacksonville. Those are the only areas that you have that naming issue in Florida. Well, in the Tampa Bay Bucks, the Tampa Bay area is the only area that you have that issue.
And then another team. Look at the Angels. They're the Los Angeles Angels now, right? Used to be Anaheim.
Yep.
All they did was move like maybe 20 minutes down the road, but they had to change the whole name of the team because they were no longer in Anaheim, so they couldn't keep that. So they changed it. So the city and they're not in the city of Los Angeles either. They're actually in Glendale, but it's Los Angeles, California, or Los Angeles County is all encompassing, which is kind of like how they do with Tampa Bay. And then like with the Jacksonville Jaguars not actually being in Jacksonville, or the Redskins, not the Redskins, the Commanders not actually being in Washington, D.C.
Mm-hmm.
They're actually in Maryland. You know what I mean? But they're not going to call them the Maryland Commanders. There's licensing issues.
So here's the thing with the whole St. Pete Tampa thing. We're going to delve into something way deeper than I thought we would ever delve into. There is a political competition between Tampa and St. Pete. Throughout this whole new stadium process, Hillsborough County Commissioners, which is where Tampa lies, were sticking their nose in the business they had no business sticking it into because nobody was going to fund a stadium in Tampa. We knew it was either going to be You was either gonna have a stadium in St. Pete, or you was gonna move that team somewhere else. Those was your only options. All the smoke screens with Orlando and all of that wasn't gonna work. But Tampa kept sticking their nose and making the process longer. So of course, grudges get people hand out their grudges in the middle of legislation. And when this legislation came out that hey, St. Pete gonna pay for this new stadium and office complex and all this, you know somebody went, oh yeah, no, it won't be no Tampa on here. I bet not see Tampa nowhere on this stadium. You know that was said. So that's where that comes from. And also, since that St. Pete is paying for it, I mean, they have a right because it's their money. They have a right to be like, yo, we did this for you. Just time to unask that name. Because the rivalry has been so bad. Before the Lightning played in Amalie Arena, it was St. Pete Times Forum. So that's how petty this go back. But again, you know, we'll see how that shake out. TP.
It just
I
kind of
think we're
seemed
going.
like, well, Joe, well, one more thing on that. It just kind of seemed like to me with the whole political thing that St. Pete is Tampa Bay's little brother, and they tired of being in the shadow.
Yeah.
That's what it. Without even knowing their political situation, just from how like what you said about this whole situation, it seemed like they are the little brother. They want to be seen. You gonna know who the fuck we are, and we want people to know where St. Pete is. We need something to get us on the map.
And $2-3 billion, that'll do it.
Yeah. You start throwing billions, we don't know who you are. That's
oh man, TP. All right, TP. I don't know if we talked about it on the show. Dwight Howard. Currently, Gwinnett County is deciding whether or not they're going to file charges against Dwight Howard. Why is this relevant? Well, allegedly, Dwight Howard invited a man over for an intimate evening. And in the midst of that invite, a third party then jumped out of the closet, literally. Now, I don't know how the other side lives. I don't. I can only think of me. If I'm going to an intimate moment and another person jumps out the closet, I'm gonna have some issues. I'm going to have some issues. So Dwight has said that the encounter was through his attorney that the encounter was consensual. Again, I asked the question: is it consensual if somebody is jumping out of the closet? I think consent has now gone out the window at that point.
What is happening?
Oh God. And the only reason why this is news is because if here's why this is news, right? Let's say none of this is true. People, oh God, I'm trying to tiptoe around this. It's not gonna work. Listen, as African Americans, we've had serious issues with people not being able to live who they are in open and in public. It has led to AIDS epidemics. It has led to suicides. It's led to very dark times in the Black community. And although there are funny components to this whole story, it is a serious issue. At no point in time should Dwight Howard need to feel like he needs to hide who he is. He should have been able to be comfortable in who he is and live out and proud however he chose to be. Because the repercussions of having to hide who you are leads to things like this. So that's why this is a topic. That's why it's an issue. Is it funny? Yes. As a man, no, I cannot go to a woman's house and some third party jump out the closet. It's going to be a problem. I'm assuming that is the same for the other side. And if that is the case, consent has now gone out the window if you are surprising people. Yes, they may have consented later on and they may be conflicted, whatever. But this is now a serious issue. This is less than that issue in New York with that rap mogul. I'm not going to name his name. But this is a serious issue. A serious, serious issue. So, but aside from the NCAA playoffs, there is the Celebration Bowl in Atlanta this Saturday. Last night in Jacksonville was the Beach Bowl. And Fort Valley State won the Beach Bowl. I was supposed to reach out and find out, is this going to be the de facto Division II Black National Championship? I'll find out those details from someone else. But I think we can comfortably say that this might be the de facto Black National Championship game later on. We'll see, because there are Division II HBCUs that go to the playoffs. So we need to also add that there. But that was a very dominant performance by Fort Valley State. And that's all really I got to say about that, except for HBCU Plus had over 700,000 views for that game, which means that all of these HBCUs that are worried about if they broadcast their games on platforms, they shouldn't be concerned. Viewers will come. Also, as I've told y'all several times, the GMs of the world, the Rocket Mortgages, and all the other places that they know Black people need their services will also be there. So ad revenue is there. HBCU Plus have shown you that you have options. You don't have to be in a ridiculous contract with ESPN. Ridiculous. So, but the Celebration Bowl in Atlanta, me and my son will be attending. Apparently, the vice president, who is a Howard alum, is also attending. She should probably find something else to do that day, because we don't give a shit that she's the vice president and that she went to Howard. She can go kick rocks for all I give a shit of. But that being said, Marlo will be attending the game. I will not be wearing my Stacey Adams and having my ankles out, because I got gout in my left big toe. So I'm gonna have to wear regular sneakers. But I sure was gonna have my ankles out with my Stacey Adams. I was gonna do it.
Should have got some Crocs.
Leave those ankles at home, sir.
First off, sir, I am not wearing no Crocs. I got perfectly good slides. I'm not wearing no Crocs.
It ain't about the slides, it's about your ankles.
My ankles would have been perfectly fine out there.
No, they're not perfectly fine out nowhere. Unless you have shorts on, we should not see your ankles.
You need to get you some Croc cowboy boots to make sure your ankles aren't staying so.
Did this man just say Croc cowboy boots? Ladies and gentlemen. So I'm about to do something that I don't like to do a lot. I am about to handicap Celebration Bowl. And because I know the Howard coach looks for any way to motivate his team, I'm not going to say nothing crazy. But FAMU 35, Howard Bison 17. Yeah, I like that score. That's all good to me. Also, for anybody wanting to go to the game, there are good seats available. I'm gonna say this now because it's the end of the year, but you should save this, keep this in your mind for games that go on sale, and for some reason all the good seats are in resellers' hands. You literally can outweight the reseller and get those tickets for good prices. There are tickets that were $348 that are now $100 because resellers always panic. Always. And unlike a lot of other situations, because they paid the $348 already, that money is going to the school. So you don't have to worry about, hey, if I buy this ticket for lesser price, am I still supporting the school? Yes, you are. You are not doing the school a disservice. You are just basically raking the scalpel over the coals. They ain't even respectable scalpers no more. They online scalpers. Get your butt out here on the corner like we used to do in the 90s. Scalp out there in the cold. That's when you earn your stripes. These dudes behind these keyboards. I digress. I digress. TP, it's been a while. I want to make sure I hit everything. Did I miss anything? Did I miss anything?
What else we got going on? Oh, shout out to the NBA for the in-season basketball tournament. You know, it was actually exciting to watch. I think people actually tuned in. You know, it was more of a spectacle than just your normal season games. Gave us something to watch. I know it's in the middle of football season. We had a lot going on with the the whole college football playoff situation. The NFL is heating up, is getting to the make or break time. But at the end of the day, basketball was fun to watch. Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. You know what I mean? I ain't watching it every day, but on the football off nights, we actually had something to tune into that actually meant something. And each player, gets a nice payday at the end of it.
All I know is somebody, wife, girlfriend, baby mama, they had a good day after that tournament. And I just want to say that, we should enjoy LeBron while we have him, because there is no way on God's green earth that Anthony Davis is going to perform like that at the end of the season. No way.
Damn.
Oh, TP. You know what? Here's what we missed. We missed Tubby Tubby. I am so sick of us giving Zion a break.
That man actually looked overweight out there. Like, it was bad.
How you scoring 30 carrying all that weight? And if what Stephen A is saying is correct, that chefs want you to come to their restaurant because they know how you eat. We got big time issues. Big time issues. And the fact that your teammates got to call you, if your teammates got to call you out, whatever. Again, quick programming note. My quarterback, Aiden O'Connell, 2 passing touchdowns. 2 passing touchdowns. I know it's against the Chargers because the Chargers going to charge, but 2 passing touchdowns, 2 passing touchdowns. No. I think let me try one more time. I'm gonna just check and see if it's in the news. about the head coaching position in the SWAC West. Oh boy. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. Oh, I know, TP. So, Marlo gonna love this. The Alabama A&M head football coach said this week that HBCU should just get used to the fact that high school football players come to HBCUs to build up the skills to transfer, and they should get used to it. And then today, he also apologized for said statement because all of HBCU Twitter was on his ass. Because nobody wants to be thought of as second class. And if that's the only reason you're going to that school, they're going to tell you not to go there. Now, if you're going to HBCU for the right reasons, and let's just be honest, no college is looking to sign high school football players first. They hitting that portal first. They're going to get them proven commodities first, then going to get players that they can build up, train to be the player that they need them to be.
Right.
So I get what he was saying in spirit, but yeah, you can't say that. You head coach at HBC, you can't say that. So, Maynard might need to turn off his mentions on Twitter. Stop answering his cell phone. Just take a break. Cause it got ugly. Ugly. Oh yeah, Marlo, apparently, a young lady was upset that when she went to go visit the HBCU, it was not Black excellence. It wasn't the lap of luxury she expected. There isn't.
What did she expect? Never mind.
It is Power 5 schools that aren't Black excellence or lap of luxury. I went to 2 of them. I'm glad one of those schools I never stayed in the dorms. Because if that bitch would have caught fire, everybody gonna die. So I'm not exactly sure why she was running her mouth like that, but again, HBCU Twitter was on her ass. And I even posted, I am not an alumnus of an HBCU, but Ash loved the Rattlers. That is his squad for some reason.
It should be. Uncle Marlo there.
Apparently, Uncle Marlo got snake shoes, and so Ash want to be where the snake's at. I would
You
also like
already
to
know
mention that Marlo has tried to give my child some vocabulary that he don't need to take home to his mama. Terms like streetwalker. Yeah. So
in my defense. In my defense, we gotta raise the kids right. They gotta know.
Oh God. Oh God.
He's sitting there with his mama. Mama, is that a streetwalker? She ain't got nothing on.
Oh my God. The good thing is that he had his tablet, so he wasn't fully paying attention. But I need to make sure his mama was aware immediately that Marlo was the reason he was. If that language come out, that is Marlo's fault.
Snitch.
Definitely Marlo's fault.
I don't care what you say about me. What you won't say about me is my child support went up. That's what you won't say about me. But anyway, as we head down to the end of football season, and accept the fact that Mike Norville is not him, and maybe God should let me win that Powerball so I can hire the 100 to march down his street. It's been a fun season. It has absolutely been a fun season. Controversy, chaos, nuttiness. People told me about the Swag West. I didn't believe them because it just didn't seem right. It didn't make sense. I believe them now. They went down to the last week of the season to figure out who was going to play the championship game. The last week in the season. Now, almost none of them got head coaches. But that's Swag West. I don't know how y'all fans live like that. That's an ulcer and a heart attack waiting to happen every week. But y'all do it. Y'all 100% do it. I guess I could talk about my Lightning, but I'm not going to do that right now because they winning. But they've been inconsistent and had me a little worried. So all I got for y'all this week is, enjoy your family. The holidays coming up because I don't get to spend time with mom like I used to. So love your family. Love your family. TP, what you got?
Hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. We're getting into Christmas time. And Robert Kraft had a Christmas present for Bill Belichick. It was "See you later, alligator." I don't think we talked about it, but after 20 plus seasons, the Patriots have decided to part ways with Bill Belichick at the end of this season. He has not had a good showing since Tom Brady decided to leave town, which brings up questions of whether or not it was Tom Brady that made him or he made Tom Brady. And I'm gonna go with the latter on that one. But, all good things come to an end. He had a good run. And I think the organization is just looking forward to a new chapter, a new start, and a new identity, which I completely understand. Let the man finish his season out. They gave him plenty of heads up. It's not, something that's going to come as a shocker to anybody at the end of the season. We kind of already know what's transpiring. There's no playoff chances, so the season is pretty much a wash, and they're just preparing for the new chapter. Outside of that, my Longhorns, we going to the playoffs. I ain't gonna say too much about it right now because we still about 2.5 weeks away. Y'all gonna hear me the week before though. I promise you that. Y'all gonna hear everything I got to say about Washington and the rest of the teams in the playoff. But we gonna let it simmer and let it marinate. And we gonna be right back at it next week. We appreciate y'all for coming, man.
Malo?
I ain't got much to say, but go Bucks, go FAMU. Fuck everybody else. And I mean it.
We know.
Oh, that's it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank y'all for coming out to another edition of Gathering the Old Men podcast. I will try to get this out after the Celebration Bowl. There will be random lives with myself and Ash. Maybe Marlo will make an appearance if he can keep it clean. So we probably won't see Marlo. So again,
they instruct them on the ATL culture and what he may see.
yeah. So yeah, Ash might not be seen with Marlo. But again, for the Gathering Old Men podcast, I want to thank everybody for coming out. Good night.
Streetwalk ain't a bad word. It's educational.
I don't even know where to begin with that. don't even know where to begin.
That's hilarious, though.
It is absolutely hilarious. Now the fact that I can't stop the show on my damn, I gotta just disconnect. Sorry about that, y'all.